Should we do it? All right, fire away, guys.
Stacy, I guess generally, halfway through 6 games in, how do you feel about the special teams?
We got to be more consistent. Got to eliminate explosive plays. I think that's the biggest thing. Is key. Obviously, can't give up a kick return in a situation. That is the biggest point of emphasis right now. Eliminate explosive plays, and then finding a way on the flip side to create it. We had a nice return for 30+ yards. Had a hold on that. We've got to get Malik Sherrod going in that phase. I like where we've trended in the field goal. Boone's in a good spot right now. We've kicked the ball off well. You've had to cover 4 kicks. 3 of them we did a nice job. 1 of them we did not. That cannot happen. So eliminate explosives, find ways to create more explosives, and then be consistent across the board and eliminate all penalties.
How nice has it been to see Colton kind of get back to the level that you guys, saw when you brought him in here?
Now, really good. He went through some injury, which, again, so much of the kicking game, there is definitely a physical side to it, but just as important is a mental side. And so he's in a great mental space right now. He's striking the ball extremely well, and his confidence is high.
Spencer was saying on that kick return last week, he felt like the players thought that the ball was going to go out the end zone. Is it just a matter of telling them they have to, go hard on every play, or how do you fix those issues?
Well, there's multifaceted. Anytime that something goes wrong, you got to fix multiple layers. Usually it's not just one thing, right? So it starts with, we need to run through the dang end zone every time. That is the expectation and the standard here. Whether Colton's kicking it out 90-something% of the time or not, there's one expectation. We're going to run our ass through that end zone, and we're going to get that crowd going. So it starts with that. Second of all, there's some fit issues there and a missed tackle issue, and so those things got to get corrected on that. So we've changed some of how we're teaching. We're not watching as much video. We're doing some more walkthrough stuff, making sure that we're getting the fits right, making sure that it's crystal clear what we're doing. So unacceptable, number 1. Okay, number 2, hey, let's find the issues, let's get them fixed and make sure we're clean with that.
You guys have done such a great job with touchbacks this year, but I think on that play there wasn't a touchback, and maybe even the next one after that there was no touchback either. Was there something? Was there wind issues or
a little bit of wind, a little bit of weather? The ball gets a little bit colder, doesn't quite fly. But welcome to the Mountain West. Welcome to Boise State. You're going to get wind. You're going to get weather. So yeah, there's certainly part of that. I think, I don't have the direct numbers. I think he's kicked off 35 times. 32 of them have been touchbacks.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to cover some kicks. The guy took it about 4 yards deep, which that's in that gray area. He's a very good returner. Give credit where credit's due. They did a nice job. We got to get our numbers right to the field side return. So there's some stuff we have to get clean there. But it happened in the App State game too, where you miss hit one, it's on the ground. Both those kicks, we cover them inside the 25. The second one, we get a penalty on it, so the ball starts at the 9. Those are good situations, but it's unacceptable to give up that return, especially in those explosive returns. So those are factors, but I think everybody here, we'd all agree, 90+% on touchbacks, we'll take that every time, and we got to cover kicks. I mean, it's going to happen. Whether we've had to do it a lot or not really is irrelevant. We've got to get that done. Starts with me, it ends with me.
Well, that return for New Mexico, was it just a case of effort, or did you see something again with the players where you fit properly in the right positions?
Yeah, I do think there's part of, hey man, this guy's been kicking it out. He's been kicking it out. So, but that there's no excuse for that, right? Like that's part of who and what we work with, and that is my job to make sure there is no. We're assuming the ball's going to be returned every time. There is some fit issues off of it. They overloaded the field side, which is good for them. Nice return scheme. We've got to get our numbers right to the field side. We've got to make sure we're avoiding off of blocks, make sure we're setting edges the right way, we're putting the cap on it, and then we can't miss tackles. Like you place great returners, and we're going to face good returners every week. I mean, welcome to college football and at a high level. You cannot bounce off people. So those are all parts of it that we've got to get fixed. I've got to get fixed, continue to teach, learn, look at personnel, look at how I'm teaching it, make sure we're in those, because that cannot happen.
Colton made one from 50 yards on Saturday. Is that something with you and Spencer where you're getting more comfortable sending him out from longer distances?
Yeah, certainly. I think just like anything, he's gaining confidence, we're gaining confidence. It was great. A little bit of weather out there, which is, like I said, we're going to get that. But he put the ball well through, has a ton of leg, and it was all about getting his confidence going, and he's in a really good spot right now.
Malik Sherrod, I mean, that's a guy we were pretty excited to see on the punt return. A lot of those have been fair catches. We haven't seen him cut loose at all. Has it just been kind of a lack of opportunity? What are you seeing on the punt return side of things?
Yeah, it's two-part. I mean, we had a 30+ 1 yarder out here. We ended up grabbing and pulling down a long snapper. So I think what you saw from Malik there, he's more than capable of. There is, we bring a lot of pressure on punt blocks, so what you see a little bit, sometimes punters get sped up, the balls are not as good. So there is part of it, you're not maybe getting as many returnable balls, but we've got to make sure we get Malik open. Malik's got the ability. He's catching the ball extremely well. So it's a two-part process, but at the end of the day, when we get our shot to shoot, and maybe it's one a game, I don't know. Analytics, you're seeing maybe a few less punts, but regardless of what that is, we've got to make sure when he gets his opportunity, we're giving him the space to make those plays and make it a positive
What
game.
about the kick return? And
Yeah.
you guys, I think, you don't return a ton, but you're only averaging like 13 yards or
Yeah.
something. Well, how do you weigh taking it at the 25 versus trying to have some explosive plays there?
Yeah, I think you look at a lot of different factors, okay? Where you're playing, where the ball's going to go, how good is this kicker, what's the scheme you're going against, and then I would say the same thing on punt return. We've got to find a way to create those seams. And I can sit here and say we're close, and you can watch the tape and we're close. That doesn't really matter. We've got to be able to get that momentum. And I do think the piece of the return game, it's like a snowball. You start hitting one, and you start seeing that thing grow and grow and grow. We got to get that done. And when we hit one, we've got to make sure we're legal across the board. And penalties in special teams, it's not just a 10-yard penalty, a 15-yard penalty. It's from the spot. That one the other night's a 41-yard penalty. We got the gain and where it's happened. We've got to make sure we're clean on that, make sure as we practice, I'm putting those guys in situations where we're practicing clean and we're taking advantage of that. But if we can't get the ball at 25, yeah, you got to talk about fair catch. We have the ability to do that, and we need to get that done.
After he got pulled in the second game, what did you see in Colton's reaction during that bye week? And what do you think the biggest thing that's changed for him? He said he had an injury early in the season going on, but what do you think the biggest thing has changed for him since the bye week?
I think his mental toughness. I think sometimes we all go through, slumps. We all go through some hard times, and I give Colton credit. He refocused himself. He got, what happens with kickers is a lot like golf, right? I'm thinking about everything. I got this, that. Hey, man, just get up there. For him, it's a grip it and rip it. When he does that, he hits the ball extremely well. And so him changing his mindset as we progressed off of that, him not going in the tank at that time when we had to take him out of the game at Eastern Washington and fighting back every day, and then putting pressure on him throughout the week. We do a lot of different things to try to make sure he feels that game day pressure, because there's no other way to do it, right? I mean, you can say what you want, but going out there on the blue in front of a full crowd, those are hard situations to replicate. So we're doing as much as we can, but I give him credit. He's continued to fight through it. He's a mature kid, and he's put himself in a good position.
With Oscar coming in, I think it was Notre Dame maybe had one kind of shank, but for the most part, he's been very consistent and having good numbers. I mean, how happy are you with, you obviously brought him in, had to bring him in and fill a spot, and he's obviously done a pretty good job for you.
Yeah, he's been great. I think sometimes people don't talk about that enough. He operates fast. He's very consistent. Put the ball down inside the 3 going into halftime, gives him, all those things are there. And so Oscar, in his maturity, and what I mean by that, he just understanding what we're asking him to do from a pressure standpoint, from a non-pressure standpoint. Oscar's been a great addition to this place.
And how, with the touchdown pass, just how, there's a lot going, a lot flying. I know you teach him and work on it, but how nice was it to see that play unfold the way it did after the missed snap?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, certainly you don't want to miss snap. It starts right there, but those are the things you work on. Work on it today. It's something. In special teams, there's so many situations that arise, so little time to work everything. So it's nice when things go wrong, you find a way to fix it, and you find a way for our guys to react. And I was proud of Oscar for doing that. Okay, and I was very proud of Troy Grizzle for understanding what the situation was and making a play.
What was the error or whatever it was on that play? Obviously, you don't want to get in the habit of running fire drills with your punter and your 4th string tight end.
No question.
I mean, what the heck happened on the outfit?
Yeah, so I think the ball was a little bit wet. We didn't do a good enough job getting it. It slipped through his hands. It wasn't a bad snap. Sometimes you get the bad snap. Oscar's got to be clean getting the ball down. We work wet ball drill weekly. All those things are part. It was raining on Wednesday. We send them out there and we're going to work. Or Tuesday, but that he just held the snap. Can't happen. Don't want it to happen. So that's what went down.
Does Boomer deserve any credit for not kicking it? Because I'm watching it thinking, kicker comes up there, tries to make something out of nothing, and the way the ball was kind of squirting around, he might have kicked it in the back of somebody.
Yeah. Those are slam bam plays. It actually happened with our orange group, our second group, about a week and a half ago. So you get a teachable moment off of that, and our guys learn from it and put into play when it happened.
We were talking with Troy about that play. That position on you basically get drilled, ran over every play.
Yeah.
So to compare and contrast that versus catching a touchdown pass, how good do you feel for him?
Karma. That guy has done an unbelievable job with that. We talk about it in our meetings because nobody else has any clue what's going on, and he is doing an unbelievable job, and it is not a glorious job. So for him to get it's karma. It's awesome.
I feel like that's almost kind of like Boulder. Like, you try to do those jobs are actually tougher than anyone would actually assume. So
yeah.
Why does Troy fit that position though? As a redshirt walk on, and why does he fit that position?
Because that's how he's wired. He's going to do whatever you ask him to do. You tell him to hinge step, iron cross, and know you're going to get knocked on your ass every time. He says yes, sir, and does it every time. And so there's a ton of credit to that. Those are the selfless acts that when you're in it. And like you said, That ball's getting out in 1.28 seconds. So there's a lot happening fast right there, from the snap to the hold to the laces to the timing that's going on. There's a lot of moving parts. So when things happen, they happen extremely fast.
And I mean, I know it's been a topic of conversation, but still, like, when it applies to Troy and the position he plays, and UNLV's been pretty good at blocking kicks. You know, these last couple of years, how much is on like a guy like Troy this week? Because those can be like game-changing plays.
There's a lot on them. There's a lot, and most of the time people don't talk about it until something goes wrong. So you want to make sure each week we're dialed in what we're doing. You're dialed in the technique. You can't sit there and practice and just run through them every day. So we get some work in camp. We get some couple live looks here and there. So for him to be able to produce and at that every time he gets it, man, give credit to that kid. And I'll tell you, it's Roman Kaywood's doing the same thing on the other side. He just doesn't have an eligible number. We can't throw it to him. Yeah.
You mentioned the walkthroughs more than the video and some of that. What's kind of going into that in terms of how you guys are trying to maybe change up how you're teaching things and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's an evolution on how kids learn. Everybody learns different. You certainly want to teach to every learning style. I got 4 daughters, 22, 20, 14, and 12. What I've realized is you can throw a lot of stuff up on the board. They learn a lot more times kinesthetically, sensory of walking through. So we're trying to find out what can actually, the stuff that we're working on, how does it show up in the game. And that's been better for us. Our kids seem to respond to that better and learn better that way.
All good.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.